The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.
Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, back to the West Ham Massive. Thanks for joining us. As always, please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the bell notification for alerts on new content. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. We're just here for a little bit of a quick chat about the Stateside Cup match day 3 of 3, where our very own West Ham United take on the Eagles Crystal Palace at the Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. Little bit of due diligence I like to get out of the way just in case there's any newbies that turn up and they're a little bit shocked. Sometimes I might let the odd swear word out, so just be warned. And if adult language is a little bit something that you're a bit offended by when it comes out, this is not the place for you, so you might want to fuck off. There you go. Let's get that one out the way. So if no, exactly that. I'm giving you a warning. But if you're still here, welcome, and get your comments in. Let's get stuck into it. So I've got Charlie here with me. Charlie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Living the dream, I think, is the often used expression.
Yeah,
so
I'm happy that we've not got any chance of falling into the Spurs trap of talking about pre-season trophies, given the fact we can't win a game.
Well, that might change. That might change the game that kicks off at, unless we get some sort of torrential downpour like last week. It's supposed to kick off at midnight GMT. And Palace, obviously, it's a 3-team tournament, essentially. We obviously played in match day 1, which was a result that we lost by a scoreline of 3-1. But then fast forward to the midweek match when Palace and Wolves played each other. Crystal Palace won by a scoreline of 3-1. And I thought about it before we sort of hit record, and I'm sitting there going, so what happens if we win 3-1? We're going to have three teams locked on 3 points, scored 4, conceded 4, goal difference of 0. How the hell are you going to award a cup to 3 teams?
I think the honest answer is nobody gives a rat's ass.
No, probably not. Unless you're a Tottenham fan, the Audi Cup or whatever.
Yeah, they've got the Asian Korean Premier League trophy or something this year, haven't they?
Oh, well done. All those years, what, sort of 1961 when they were last league champions.
Yeah, well, don't worry, we're going to win the Betway Cup in front of about 7 people next week, so I'll be 3 of them. I am, yeah. I am.
Oh no! So you're one of the 7.
Yeah, there's me, my little one, and my missus, and then there's 4 others that I'm sure coming along. Probably Danny Dyer. So 2 of the 7 are going to be called Danny Dyer.
Well, you'll have plenty of places to choose where you sit your ass.
Yeah,
I've
seen. They've started selling the whole bottom bowl, haven't they? But they can't sell half of it. I think there's 12,000 left on sale at the moment. But
I wonder why that's happened. Why are people staying away? I wonder. It's a mystery.
I don't know. Maybe it's the boycott. I'm not sure the boycott is that widely known about outside of the Twitter sphere of West Ham fans, if I'm totally honest. We're going just because it's quite likely the only opportunity that I'll get to take my little one who's 2 years old to a game this season. It's not logistically or financially, to be honest, but logistically more so than anything. It's not logistically easy to take him to a Premier League game with the 65,000 or whatever, 55,000. It's just not a good atmosphere or a good environment for a 2-year-old. So next week's the best opportunity. So sign the petition, support the cause, but in my opinion, they've done it for the wrong game. But hey ho.
Fair enough. Kent's in the chat as well as the bowling lounge. And if anyone else is lurking there, I see we've got 26 watching live. Get a comment in, say hello, make yourself known, and get your opinions in as we go along. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, doesn't matter. Everyone's got an opinion. Everybody's welcome. Kent says Palace are a decent side under Glasner. He says he thinks that they've bought well, and he also goes on to say that he's boycotting the Betway, and everybody's entitled to do what they want to do, vote with their feet or not, as the case may be. And then he goes on to say that tickets are selling very slowly for the first 2 home games. I mean, I don't know about you, Charlie, but I've had several text messages in the last couple of weeks saying, "Oh, we've got extra tickets you can get for the Villa game," and that's usually a bit of a clue.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I've got them texts. I don't think I have, but yeah, no, I haven't really kept an eye on sales for the league games. Most of them should be season tickets anyway. I don't know what we're up to or down to now. They're working their way down, aren't they, in season ticket numbers? But I know it was at 54,000 to start with, so I can't imagine we're a million miles below that now. But some of the prices are just for match day tickets are just ridiculous, aren't they?
It is. Yeah, well, I mean, Aston Villa's now a Category A game. Fucking hell.
What isn't?
Well, yeah, there is that.
There's only about 3 teams that aren't.
Let's get stuck into it now. Obviously, look, this is there's normally a series of questions that I usually have lined up for match previews. I think it's kind of difficult to ask some of the questions. I mean, the first question that I normally ask is your thoughts on the opposition this season. Well, it's pre-season, so it's kind of difficult to answer that question. And the next question is kind of difficult to answer to a degree, but I will ask it. Who do you think is the player that, if they play, and of course it's a pre-season friendly, so will they play well? They play their best team? Who knows? But who's the player that, if they take to the pitch, that you're going to sit there and go, "Oh fuck, we got to keep our eye on him"?
I think it's probably obvious for Crystal Palace. Now that Olise's gone, I think there's only one, what I would call star player, and that's Eze.
Yeah,
I think he's probably the one that, to be honest, I'm surprised he hasn't moved anywhere yet. I don't know if he will or not. They obviously don't need the money. They've made a couple of good signings. I had a look, and they made that Kamada, who played us famously in the Frankfurt game.
Did they sign him from Lazio? Good. Did I read that right?
Yes. Yeah, Frankfurt sold him to Lazio for like 25 million euros or something.
Okay.
Last season, then Lazio have sold him for closer to 15, I think, this summer. So be interested to see how he gets on. And they pretty much just announced, or last few days they've announced, Ismail Sarr as well. So again, someone that we was linked with for 3 years, a bit like a Carlos Bacca.
Yeah.
So there's a few players. Yeah, I think the likes of Mateta and Jeffrey Schlupp as well have played well from what I've seen in pre-season. That's giving the impression I've watched Palace, but just looking at the stats and looking at goal scorers, assist makers, etc., seems to be like they're having good pre-seasons. But yeah, I think Palace are obviously 6 months ahead of us in the cycle of bringing in a new manager, and you started to see signs of that last season that they were improving. So you imagine they're a little bit further on, both in terms of tactical familiarity and working together as a team and working in a mould that suits the new manager. They've obviously beat Wolves, who beat us, so certainly a decent team, one to be wary of. Not that it matters.
No, in the grand scheme of things, it's not sort of like a deal breaker. If I'm not going to start panicking. I mean, look, we had Lucas Paquetá link up with the squad right about Monday, Tuesday, I think it was, from memory. And obviously, we've since then we've had Jared Bowen and we've had Alphonse Areola that have linked up with the squad. Since then, I think they linked up yesterday or Thursday, I think it was. So I'm not entirely convinced we're going to see them take to the pitch. And obviously, is,
you kind of ask what's the point of them linking up if they're not going to play any part. They're coming home tomorrow, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I do wonder that, and it's one of those where the Somerville. I mean, I'm hearing that they've already done like sort of like a lot of the photo shoots and videos, that they do at the big unveil. That's already been done. So, strictly speaking, that is done. It's just that the club have got to announce it officially. And they've obviously, it would seem, they've taken the decision rather than flying him over to Tampa, Florida to meet up with a squad to then come back the following day is completely counterproductive. Just might as well stay in London, mate. And once the game's done, we'll do the big announce and all that bollocks. But anyway, so that sort of like deals with Palace. But if we move on, of the players that we suspect will be involved, again, I appreciate it's a pre-season friendly, so this might be a slightly more difficult question to answer than it is during the season. But who do you think's the key man for us?
Oh, that is a good question. I think Kudus has shown in the pre-season so far that he's probably a level above and performing a level above most of our team at the moment. I think in terms of chances of getting a result, if we're talking on that front, I think it's going to be Kudus. Players, I'm more interested to see maybe a makeshift back line of two left footers in a Gerd and Kilman, because God, I don't want to see Zuma playing. So I'm hoping to see maybe a back two of a Gerd and Kilman, or even a back three of a Gerd, Kilman and Mavropanos. So that's what I'm interested to see how we line up. But yeah, I think in terms of getting goals, a result, it's going to be Kudus, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now, this next question, this is a question I really would like you 28 guys that are watching live. And please, guys, if you could, because I say you've got 28 watching live, and as I'm looking, unless I've got it wrong, there's only 3 likes on the stream. So could you do us a favor and just stick a like on it, because that will make sure that this goes out to places that otherwise it wouldn't have done. It really does help the channel out. And remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you very much. So, what do you think, Charlie, and guys in the chat? What would be your starting 11, bearing in mind the dynamic of it's friendly, it's pre-season, the players that have come latterly? What would be your starting 11?
You'd think, knowing I was coming onto a preview, I would have thought about this, but I haven't. So we're going to make it up as we go along.
Yeah, fuck it.
I'd chuck Areola in, get him some match time. He's a goalkeeper. It's very unlikely to injure himself. Hopefully, we're not going to see much of Fabianski or Fodringham this year. Chuck Areola in. Wan-Bissaka's not signed yet, so stick Soufal at right wing back. Back three, Mavropanos, Gerd, Kilman. Gerd moving into midfield on the ball at times, more so than Kilman. Emerson left wing back. Centre midfield of Paqueta. Pre-season, fuck it. Paqueta and Kudus. Oh no, we haven't. Paqueta, Kudus in the middle. Guilherme on the right. Have we got? We haven't got. We need Somerville out there. Fly him out quick. Stick Cornet.
You might be too late.
Yeah, potentially. Cornet's been shite as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think I'd involve him. I'd look to get him out the door, mate. And I'm someone that was quite excited when he came in, but it just hasn't worked out.
Stick Antonio on the left, stick Danny Ings up top, or bring Callum Marshall. I'm fine with that. You want to be a bit more sensible, I guess you put Potts or Orford in the middle with Paqueta, Kudus on the right, Antonio and Ings. Off the top of my head.
I'm gonna go. I'd like to see a 4-3-3, and of the players that I suspect are going to be involved, I think Fabianski goes between the sticks. I think Kufal goes right back because we haven't really got anyone else that can challenge him for that position, in my opinion. Left back, I don't know for certain whether he's there, but I'd actually quite like to see Ollie Scarles. I know that we've got Cresswell in the squad and Emerson, but if he's out in
I don't know if
Florida,
he's there actually.
I'm not sure if he is or isn't. But if he is, I'd like to see him. If he isn't, then I think I'd like to see, because Cresswell started the game against Wolves, didn't he? So I think if Scarles isn't there, then I think I'd probably say, okay, give Emerson the starting berth. Because quite honestly, Cresswell, we know what he can do. He's been around for long enough. We know what he can. We know what he can't do. So what are we going to learn fundamentally? Not a great deal. The centre back pairing, Kilman is a must for me, and then it's a question of who just goes alongside him. Now, could you put a Gare alongside him? Well, you could, because there's many centre back pairings that you have two righties partnered. So why couldn't you have two lefties? So
2 good lefties on the ball as well.
Yeah, exactly that.
Just to confirm, Scarles was on the bench against Wolves, so
okay. So I'd like to see him start actually, and then Emerson play the second half. I'd like to see. I thought Potts played well last week. I'd like to see him involved. What's the story with Alvarez though? Because I'm not too sure whether
I'm not hearing anything.
Because I heard he was going to be out for the first couple of weeks, but I'm hearing a few whispers that are saying that he might be ready ahead of schedule, which is good.
Well, I saw a few little tweets and a few little conversations on channels on YouTube that he was going to miss the first few weeks, but I don't think I ever saw that from a reliable source. It was only a hamstring injury, so to be out for 4 weeks ago he got the injury, so to be out for 4 weeks plus another week to the start of the season plus another 3 weeks, you never see a hamstring twinge be out for 8-9 weeks. That seems a lot to me. So he was obviously turned up a week ago now. He's been around, not seen training videos or anything, but probably not riskable for this one, I would suggest, but I would hope.
Yeah, I don't think
6 weeks down the line.
That's why I'd probably
in there for Villa.
Yeah, I'd put Potts in. I think he came out of the game last week one of the few players that could come out of it with his head held high. So I think I'd like to involve Potts probably as the defensive mid of the midfield three. Probably give Andy Irving a go. Let's see what he can do, because he didn't start last week. So I'd like to see him. He seems to have, on the opportunities that he's had so far in pre-season, I'd like to see a little bit more of him if that's okay. And then it's a question: who's the third one in central mid? I mean, you've got Ward-Prowse, you've got Souček again. What are we going to learn by putting them in? I'd like to see Lewis Orford, if I'm being honest. I know it's possibly a stretch, because to have two youth players in the central midfield, but for fuck's sake, if you're not going to do it in a pre-season friendly to see what they're all about, then when are you going to do it? So really, it doesn't matter. So I'd like to see Lewis Orford. Maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, and then I'd like to see a front three. Obviously, Kudus involved, whether on the right or the left. Because I think the two wide players, they should be interchanging anyway. Because I think what tends to happen if you get the wide players, if they stay on the flanks for the entirety of the match, over a period of time, I think that the fullbacks can get a little bit comfortable and they can work out how the player's gonna sort of approach them. Whereas if you're constantly sort of like switching their wings, and you're sort of like you're changing the problems that the fullback's going to face in match, I think that's a much better way to do it. So whether you put Kudus left, Guilherme right, or vice versa, to me, I don't really give a fuck. Just stick them on the pitch and just sort of like at regular intervals swap them over. And then it's a question of who you play up front. Do you play Antonio? Do you play Ings? As I say, I don't think Bowen's going to be involved. And I do, like you, sort of wonder, well, if they're not going to be involved because of the timing of them getting linked up with the squad is concerned, what was the point of them going to Tampa in the first place? I kind of agree with your point there. But
I
I
feel
think
like he might get 20 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and the penalty shootout at the end.
Maybe. But I'd probably put Antonio through the middle. But yeah, I mean, there could be. I mean, could Callum Marshall be involved at some point? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a pretty decent sort of starting lineup. But I'm probably well wide of the mark. But got a couple of people that have given Kent sort of like given his. Ariola, Killer, Aguerd, Mav, Emerson, Kufal, Paquetá, Orford, Potts, Ings, and Antonio. So he's getting 2 strikers up top. He's not fucking around.
What's your thoughts on Orford and Ings? Do you see him being here come 1st of September? Because I personally don't see
Orford and Ings.
Ings, what am I talking about? Orford and Potts. Because I think we get to the 1st of September and neither of them are at the club.
What, you think they're going out on loan, or you think one of them might be sold? What?
No. I think they'll go out on loan.
Okay.
I think because I don't think there's any talk from anyone reliable about selling Souček, selling Ward-Prowse. You're gonna have Alvarez. You're gonna have.
Oh, I think Ward-Prowse. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Saints, mate. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'd be quite surprised. I think.
Really?
But yeah, especially after a year. They'd have to give us our money back, basically. I don't think they'd be mad to do that. I think that's what we'd insist, and I think they'd be mad to do that, especially after they've just got Downs.
Maybe we put in a bonus clause of sort of like, however much for every free kick he fucking scores. Because he's never done it for us. He'll go there and he'll start scoring fucking free kicks again.
Probably, yeah. So I think it wouldn't be my choice, but I think we go into the season as Alvarez, this Rodriguez, is that? Yeah, Guido
Rodriguez, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that's a pretty much done deal. So them two as DMs, Souček and Ward-Prowse. And I think the kids go out on loan. Where to, I'm not sure, but
I think I'd probably keep Potts because he's already had a loan excursion. I think if anyone's going to benefit from it, it would probably be more Lewis Orford for that reason. That's just my very simplistic way of looking at it. Potts has already had regular game time in a men's team. Lewis Orford hasn't. So I think possibly if there's one of those two that I might advocate, actually that might benefit him, then it would probably be Lewis Orford for me.
Second part, that's the problem, Kent. I think most West Ham fans would probably say they'd sell Thomas Souček, but if you're only getting bids of 10 million, I'm not sure that's going to cut it. And I think
how much do you think he fetches?
I think we'd do well to get more than 10 million for him, which is why I don't think we'll sell him.
Would you think we'll just let his contract run out?
No, I think we'll get another year out of him potentially. What's he got left? 2 years? Maybe 3?
Possibly. I can't remember now. Didn't he signed a new one a couple of years back, didn't he?
Yeah, so that would have been a 4-year probably. So maybe he's got 2 years left. I think we let him go on the cheap next summer. I think we'll be reluctant to let him go for 7, 8, 9, 10 million this summer, but I think we'll do it next summer. I just don't see anyone bidding for him, certainly after the season he had last season.
Yeah. Wasn't his best, but let's get onto it. And again, you guys in the live chat, we've got 45 watching live. We've got 24 likes. So chuck the thumbs up on that. It'd be great. Score prediction, Charlie.
Well, it's got to be 3-1, hasn't it?
Has to be. Has to be a 3-1 win to us. And then the Americans are sitting there going, what do we fucking do now? Here? Would we fucking, do rock, paper, scissors or something?
We're a West Ham channel, so we'll say 3-1 to us. But if I'm being honest, I don't see us winning this game. I think they're a lot further ahead in terms of, as I was talking about, the ways of working tactically in the setup of Oliver Glasner. I think they've made very limited changes to the squad over the summer. They've obviously lost Elise big loss, brought in a couple of decent players in Kamada and Sane. They brought in a centre back as well. I can't tell you who that is, but not massive changes. From what I know, 90% of their squad is there already with them. I think Gahey's probably not there or may have just got back. Whereas I still feel like, and it's not a massive concern at this point, but we are only a week out. Well, no, 2 weeks out from the start of the season. I still feel like there's a lot of pieces to come together for our squad. I think that, well, you can see how many players we're linked to at the moment. You got the right back, you got a backup centre mid, you got our centre mid who's injured, you got a left winger that we need, you got a striker, if not 2 strikers. Bowen's just coming back, our goalkeeper's coming back. It still feels like we're a little way behind. Just that circumstance, I think, more than anything. But for that reason, yeah, if I was doing a genuine prediction to put a bet on and win some money, I think Palace win this game.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I think they are ahead in certain respects. I think if we'd have maybe got our ducks in a line a little bit quicker and got in a right back in, say, a Wan-Bissaka or a Kyle Walker-Peters, for example, if we'd have got in another striker like a Nicholas Fulkrug or a John Duran, if we'd have got in Crysencio Somerville and they were already in the squad now, I think I think that's a completely different proposition. However, that isn't the case.
Yeah, I think you asking the same question. We could have Palace 4th or 5th game of the season. I'm guessing we don't, but I don't actually know when we have them. Although it's probably in that first 9 games or whatever that we don't leave London, isn't it? There's
yeah,
only
it's
so many
about
London
that.
teams, so we must have them pretty early. I think when you come in to do the preview of that game, I think we're going to be having a totally different conversation. And quite frankly, at the moment, the way it's going, you look at the 2 teams on paper in 2 months' time, whatever. I think we'll be saying our squad and our team is significantly better. But that's where it just comes in. I just think we're a little bit way behind them in preparation at the moment, just because of the amount of people that went off to Euros and Copa America and the amount of changes in the squad due to signings.
Yeah, it's the second game away.
Yeah.
I think, is that not the 24th of August? I've got a funny feeling it is. And I should know that because it's a very special day in my life.
Is that when you become a man?
Well, it's when I became 2, if that makes sense. It's my wedding anniversary.
Nice. Yeah, 24th of August away at Crystal Palace.
I've actually put in the ballot for that. Don't tell the wife; she don't know yet. I've actually done really well in the ballot. Actually, I dare say Kent will be there.
I don't suppose that ballot's still open, is it?
I'm not sure. Probably not.
No.
I put it this way, Charlie. I put in for 4 tickets, as I always do. If I get lucky, then I'll let you know.
Yeah, give me a shout. I could have got a ticket for that game. It sold out on my priority point number. But I mean, it's when it got to my number, it was sold out within an hour, and I just totally forgot. So,
oops,
that was clever. But yeah, never mind. We'll go if we get the chance. But come back. Although that's before the start of the end of the transfer window, isn't it? So we may still be having similar conversations, but hopefully by that point.
Yes, exactly that, Ken. Yes. Yes. That was the day. That was the day. As I was getting married, I actually had, I kid you not, I had a little earpiece radio in as I was at the altar, and I was listening to that game. And when we was 2-0 up against the Premier League champions as they were at the time, 2-0 up, I'm sitting there going, oh, mate, this is a fantastic day. This is brilliant. I'm getting married. We're 2-0 up at home in the first home league game of the season against the defending champions. This is going to be a fucking good season. We finished 7th the season before. We're going to go and win the Premier League. Fast forward a couple of months and we got fucking relegated. Because, of course, what happened, we went from being 2-0 up. They got a goal 2-1. We then have a penalty. I think it was, Kent will correct me, I'm pretty sure it was Freddie Canute took it. And I think it was saved by David Seaman, as opposed to it hitting the woodwork or him blazing it sort of wide or high. I'm pretty sure Seaman saved it. And then, of course, they went and equalised. And those 2 points proved quite costly, not just in terms of where we finished in the league, but also in terms of just the sort of like the confidence that it drained. Because if I remember rightly, the week before we went to St James's Park and we got done 4-0 in the opening fixture, so it wasn't a good start, and it just went downhill from there. But yes, that was that day, Kent.
Can't remember the last game of last season, let alone 20 years ago.
Yeah, just on the last game, I probably also should, for context, have mentioned that obviously the last game that we played against Palace was in April, right towards the end of the season. I think it was after the Leverkusen game. I think it was against the.
Sounds right.
Sure, it was either side of that, and we got absolutely smashed. What was we 3-4-0 down at half time? We went on to lose 5-2.
Yes, I was playing golf that day, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking shit. So
we had a few smashes last season. Fulham was my favourite.
That's the one. Yeah, you remember it, Kent. So do I.
Showing your age.
I am. I feel very old when I sort of realise that I've got twin boys who are now 21.
Wow.
Oh, fucking hell. My life's disappearing. My life's disappearing before my very eyes. Right.
Well, I'll cheer that to end on.
We've been waffling on for just over half an hour. We've got 48 watching live, and for those of you that have liked to the stream, appreciate it. Those of you that haven't, please do before you disappear, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit that bell icon so you'll be notified of all content as and when we add it. Any final thoughts from you, Charlie, before we knock it on the head?
No, just hope they kick off on time. So I'm knackered, so staying up till 2 is bad enough. So staying up till 4:30 or whatever it was, could do without that again.
Yeah, especially probably with you. You're probably going to sleep and your little one's waking up and making a bit of a fuss, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
See, I ain't got that problem now.
No, they just don't get out of bed ever at your age, their age.
Yeah, you know it. But there you go. Anyway, guys, I'm going to knock it on the head there. As I say, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this particular matter. And please don't forget also to consider giving your support to the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. And we will see you for the Palace review, which will possibly be tomorrow, maybe Monday. But keep your eyes out. We'll be back soon. Take care, guys.
The West Ham Massive are pleased to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham fans and friends inspired by the work of other football food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations for a Newham food bank in Beckton, who supplies sub-distribution centres in the borough 7 days a week and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thanks for your support. Come on, you Irons.